Here's something nobody tells you: why healthy people get heart attacks. Let's uncover it.
A 32-year-old man wakes up before sunrise. He ties his running shoes, checks his smartwatch, and heads out for his morning run. His resting heart rate is low. His blood pressure has always been normal. He doesn't smoke. He exercises almost every day. To everyone around him, he's the picture of perfect health. That morning, he finishes a 10K race with a smile. He laughs with friends, drinks some water, and catches his breath. Nothing feels unusual. Then, without warning, he suddenly grabs his chest.
My chest.
Within
Something's
seconds, he collapses onto the pavement.
Hey, wake
The
up,
people
wake up,
around
wake up.
him
Oh
are
my God,
stunned.
no.
How could this happen?
Please,
He was
open your
young.
eyes.
He looked healthy. He had no obvious warning signs. Doctors later discovered that the real danger hadn't started that morning. It had been silently growing inside one of his coronary arteries for years. Stories like this shock people because they challenge one of our strongest beliefs: that looking healthy means your heart must be healthy. But the human body doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the most dangerous heart disease is the one that stays completely silent until the day it can no longer hide. Today, we're going inside the human heart to understand how someone who seems perfectly healthy can suffer a heart attack without warning. Because once you understand what's happening beneath the surface, you'll never think about heart health the same way again. Most people imagine heart attacks happening to someone much older, someone who rarely exercises, eats unhealthy food every day, and spends most of their life sitting down. That's the image we've seen in movies for decades. But real life tells a very different story. Every year, emergency rooms treat people who seemed incredibly healthy just hours before their heart attack. Some are runners, some are cyclists. Some go to the gym 5 days a week. So what are doctors seeing that most people aren't? To answer that question, we have to zoom inside the body. Imagine your heart is the busiest city in America. Every second, billions of heart muscle cells need oxygen to survive. They can't store it. They need a constant delivery every moment of every day. The coronary arteries are like massive highways carrying oxygen-rich blood to every neighborhood of that city. As long as traffic keeps moving, everything works perfectly. Now imagine that, over many years, one lane on one of those highways slowly becomes narrower. Not enough to stop traffic, not enough to cause noticeable problems, just enough to make the road weaker than it used to be. That's exactly how coronary artery disease begins. It doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in a month. For many people, it develops silently over 20 or 30 years. The story usually begins with tiny injuries inside the artery wall: high LDL cholesterol, high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, chronic inflammation, or even genetics can damage the delicate inner lining of these blood vessels. Once that protective layer is injured, LDL cholesterol slips underneath it. Your immune system immediately notices something is wrong. White blood cells rush to the area like firefighters responding to an emergency. Their goal is to clean up the cholesterol, but over time they become trapped. More cholesterol arrives. More immune cells follow. Layer after layer begins to build. Eventually, a fatty deposit forms. Doctors call it an atherosclerotic plaque. Here's the frightening part. You can't feel it growing. There are no pain nerves inside the artery wall, warning you that plaque is developing. You can feel energetic. You can complete long workouts. You can look perfectly fit in the mirror, while this process quietly continues beneath the surface. This is why heart disease has earned another nickname, the silent killer. Now, here's the truth most people never know until it's too late, because the next video might explain the one symptom you've been ignoring. Before we go further, if this helps you understand your own body better,
Hit subscribe to your channel Simplified Health for helping you make smarter health decisions every day. Now, back to the story.
Now here's where most people misunderstand heart attacks. Many believe a heart attack happens because plaque slowly grows until it completely blocks the artery. That can happen, but it's not the most common story. In many cases, the blockage wasn't even large enough to cause symptoms. Instead, something much more dangerous happens. Imagine that plaque as a volcano covered by a thin crust. For years, it sits quietly. Then one day, the outer covering suddenly cracks open. Your body reacts instantly. It thinks you've suffered an injury. Platelets rush toward the rupture. A blood clot begins forming. Minute by minute, the clot grows larger. Eventually, it blocks the entire artery. Suddenly, blood can no longer reach part of the heart muscle. Within minutes, those heart cells begin dying from lack of oxygen. That moment is a heart attack. Think about how quickly everything changes. A process that took decades to develop can become life-threatening in just a few minutes. One of the most dangerous places for this to happen is inside the left anterior descending artery. Cardiologists have given this blood vessel a chilling nickname: the Widowmaker. Why? Because this artery supplies blood to a massive portion of the heart's main pumping chamber. If blood flow suddenly stops here, the heart can lose much of its ability to pump blood throughout the body. Without immediate treatment, survival becomes far less likely. Every minute matters. Doctors often repeat one phrase: time is muscle. Because every minute blood flow remains blocked, more heart muscle dies forever. At this point, you might be wondering, if exercise is so good for the heart, why doesn't it completely prevent this? The answer is both encouraging and surprising. Exercise is one of the best things you can do for your heart. It lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol, helps control blood sugar, reduces inflammation, strengthens the heart muscle, improves circulation. People who exercise regularly generally have a much lower risk of heart disease. But lower risk doesn't mean zero risk. Exercise cannot erase genetics. It cannot magically remove decades of cholesterol buildup. It cannot completely undo uncontrolled diabetes or years of high blood pressure. It is powerful protection, but it isn't an invisible shield. In fact, the human body is incredibly good at adapting. As an artery slowly narrows over many years, the body sometimes grows tiny new blood vessels around the blockage. Doctors call this collateral circulation. Imagine a major highway becoming crowded. Drivers naturally begin using side roads. Traffic still reaches its destination. The city keeps functioning. That's exactly what these new blood vessels do. They help deliver blood around the narrowing artery. It's an amazing survival mechanism. But it also creates a dangerous illusion. Because blood is still reaching the heart, many people experience no symptoms at all. Then one day, when a plaque suddenly ruptures and a clot blocks the artery completely, those backup roads simply aren't enough anymore. Everything changes within minutes. This is why some people run marathons with hidden heart disease, while others develop symptoms much earlier. The body doesn't always reveal what's happening inside. Now let's clear up another myth. Movies often show heart attacks as sudden crushing chest pain followed by immediate collapse. Reality is much more complicated. Some people do experience severe chest pressure. Others describe it as tightness, burning, squeezing, or a heavy weight sitting on their chest. Pain can spread into the jaw, neck, shoulder, back, or left arm. Some people never experience chest pain at all. Instead, they feel unusually short of breath. Others become nauseated. Some break into a cold sweat. Others feel extreme fatigue, dizziness, or simply a sense that something is terribly wrong. Women, older adults, and people living with diabetes often experience symptoms that are less obvious than the classic movie version.
That's one reason heart attacks are sometimes mistaken for indigestion, muscle strain, anxiety, or even the flu. Every minute spent ignoring symptoms allows more heart muscle to die. And if you're learning something new today, take a second to share this video with someone you care about. You never know whose life this information could help. Heart disease often stays silent until it's too late, and a simple share today could make a real difference for someone you love. Sharing is caring, but after sharing, don't forget to come back and watch this video until the very end, because half knowledge can be dangerous, but complete knowledge can save lives. So who is actually at risk? The truth is simpler than many people think. Heart disease doesn't care how expensive your gym membership is. It doesn't care how many followers you have on social media. It doesn't care whether you look athletic in family photo. It responds to biology. High LDL cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, vaping, chronic stress, poor sleep, obesity, physical inactivity, a family history of early heart disease. These are the factors that quietly shape what happens inside your arteries over many years. Perhaps the most dangerous sentence anyone can say is, "I feel fine." Feeling healthy and being healthy are not always the same thing. Heart disease can remain completely silent while plaque continues growing beneath the surface. Your body rarely sends an invitation announcing that your arteries are becoming blocked. That's why prevention is so important. Knowing your blood pressure, checking your cholesterol, monitoring your blood sugar, understanding your family history, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying physically active, avoiding tobacco, managing stress, sleeping well, and working with your healthcare provider if treatment is needed. None of these guarantee that a heart attack will never happen, but together they can dramatically reduce the risk and help protect the heart for decades to come. Now let's return to the young runner from the beginning of our story. When people looked at him, they saw strength. They saw confidence. They saw someone who appeared to have everything under control. What they couldn't see was the silent story unfolding inside one of his coronary arteries. The race didn't cause his heart attack. It simply revealed a disease that had been developing quietly for years. Your heart will beat more than 2.5 billion times over an average lifetime. It works through every celebration, every challenge, every ordinary day, asking for almost nothing in return. The greatest mistake isn't assuming your heart is weak. It's assuming that feeling healthy always means your heart is healthy. Sometimes the most dangerous disease is the one you never notice until it's too late. But when you understand how heart disease truly develops, you gain something incredibly powerful: the chance to act before the silent killer ever has the final word. Before you go, I need 30 seconds of your time, just 30 seconds. Right now, type "simplified health" in the comments. Not for me, for you. Because here's the truth about your brain: it forgets almost everything it sees today by tomorrow. That's not weakness, that's just biology. But the moment you type something, your brain treats it differently. It becomes a decision, not a memory. And decisions stick. So type it. Right now, before you scroll away and this moment disappears forever. And while you're at it, hit subscribe too. One tap. That way, you don't even have to remember to come searching. The next video finds you first. Let that be the moment your future self thanks you for. We'll be here, every day, helping you understand your body before it has to shout to get your attention,